shoulders going down from my neck all the way down to my hand.
That's Trey. He's an avid gym goer with some pain that feels like TOS. And just like you,
I thought rows would be good for my shoulder. Like, okay, I'm gonna help my posture, but like I was doing rows, machine rows, and I couldn't feel my back activate.
here's the problem. For most people who have TOS, doing any sort of overhead movements will most likely create pain from the neck down to the shoulder and into the hand. And because there's so many areas that you're feeling pain, it's easy to feel overwhelmed with what you should be doing. You have to figure out things like, where's my pain coming from? What do I do if I can't feel my muscles activate and the exercises aren't working? Or how can I enjoy myself in the bathroom? I'm kidding, he didn't say that. I did. And not only are you going to get all these questions answered during my coaching call with Trey, you're also going to discover the one hidden muscle deep inside his armpit that was most likely creating his thoracic outlet syndrome.
Sure, I'm gonna see it like that on the right side. No, it's not. It's not even like that on the right side.
I don't think
On the left side, it feels tender. The right side, it doesn't. I'm dealing. It's a really complicated issue. You know, I was doing some research and I came across a video about thoracic outlet syndrome. I don't know what happened, but it's been going on for about a year now. I was doing this dead hang once, right after a chest workout, and I felt that like a pop, like right here in that pec minor area, like right here. And ever since that, I've been getting the symptoms from my neck all the way down to my hand. And I also been dealing with some shoulder impingement issues, like anything overhead, like a pull down, kind of feels like my shoulder gives out. I feel like there's some type of blockage with the left shoulder. So it's left neck pain and also the left shoulder. And when I do rows, like I thought rows would be good for my shoulder. Like, okay, I'm gonna help my posture. But like I was doing rows, machine rows, and I couldn't feel my back activate. Like it would just feel like my shoulder was jamming or something like that. And also with bicep curls, like I feel a lot of pain in the front of my delt and I can't even feel my bicep activate. So I don't know if it's thoracic outlet. I don't know if it's shoulder impingement or like a trigger point back here that's causing pain down. But that's a whole lot of different things going on. And I stumbled across your video and wanted to see if I get some help.
So this all started after working out, basically. One day, like
Yeah.
you've been fine ever since. No previous injuries, no previous car accidents, random shit like that.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at your posture, actually. Okay, I got that open. Now, let me see, how do I do this? Share screen.
I don't even want to. I know it's gonna be.
So not bad, not bad. Very common. Let me just pull that up as
Yeah.
well. See the rest of them. All right. So what we have here is a very common pattern with a left side or right side dropped, left side elevated. Very common with. Are you right-handed?
Right-handed. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that. So being a lefty myself, I have the opposite issue. I have a higher left side or a right side than I do left side. And the reason for that is because you're technically using this side of the muscles a lot more, using the pec minor, maybe even the biceps a little more, maybe even the back muscles here a little more. And we'll get to the back later on. But that's kind of the issue with that tilt. Very common, but it can get in the way. And I'll show you that again when we get to the back. When we get to the torso, I kind of noticed the hands are rotated outwards. So this one's externally while this one's internally rotated. So that might be due to the pelvis rotated. Does that make sense? Or once again, that just could be a pattern that you just found yourself in. Do you play any different kind of sports?
Yeah, so I'm 19. I graduated high school about a year ago, and I was playing basketball pretty much. I was on varsity basketball. That's my main sport.
Trying to think, like right-handed shooting, will that create a twist somehow? I'm not sure. Like, so again,
it wouldn't create a twist, but I would definitely say like your guide hand, which is my left hand, my shoulder would be a little bit elevated when I shoot.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, so playing baseball, I swing from left to right. So now I have more rotation towards the right than I do left. And I've always noticed that. So I have restriction my left way. Just once again, patterns from playing sports, doing your daily habits, things like that. Knees, look a little bit kind of extra rotated, but nothing crazy, nothing wrong with that. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, that's not the right one. There you go. From the side, a little bit of forehead posture. Everybody has it. No big deal. But again, that just kind of shows that these muscles in the front are going to be the ones that are short and tight that might be creating the restrictions. From this, we have a kind of small little sway. So if I were to put a roller straight up and down, your body will be in front of it from the angles. So we have like almost a 3-degree, I'm guessing, tilt towards the front into the pelvis, and then like a 2-degree tilt to the back into the shoulders, and then another just a forward head posture, which is common. So again, that's going to be because the head maybe is migrating first. Your body is going to start to compensate. Your shoulders are going to try to pull back a little bit to fight off that movement. And when your shoulders start to get pulled back, your pelvis might get pulled forward because your shoulders getting pulled back, and then you create this zigzag pattern basically.
By the way, I could only see the front picture. I don't see my side angle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What you were saying verbally, Mason.
Yeah,
Okay, I
so
can see what you're saying for sure.
small little tilts are very common. Crazy about that at all. Let me go back to that zoom now and try to find the share and go to the next image.
Yeah, I could clearly see that.
Yeah, so again, the higher left shoulder, lower right, just once again confirms right-handed. You're saying that you were your guide hand is up more, makes sense. And what I'm kind of seeing here too is when I was watching your squat, no problems with the squat, but I would see that you're telling me you're having pinching in the left shoulder.
Just pinching my left shoulder. That's a little bit.
Is that correct?
Yeah, my shoulder, I was pinching, blockage, like giving out on me.
And you mentioned something on the top shoulder blade, correct? Like a pinching pain. You did say something in the front as well, but I wrote it down. It was when you're when you're on your side, you started feeling pinching, almost like a blockage there, and then pain in the front.
My left shoulder's going down, or dull. It feels really dull, and it's like hitting, like at the top of my shoulder blade. Like a lot of shoulder impingement.
Does that make sense? Is that correct?
Yeah. When you say upper shoulder blade, is that the upper trap?
It's around there. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's where I'm feeling blockage. Yeah, just front of the shoulder for sure. Like just jamming, you know? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so again, that just kind of shows like those muscles are tighter, where they're kind of compensating because you use the front of the body and the right side more. The left side and the back is going to compensate. And that is kind of because you also played basketball with your guide arm. Your body's naturally going to remember this position more than it remembers this one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let me see. What's the next thing I want to show you? So here we have your PDF. This is kind of just like an overview of what the AI, we'll call it, is what is looking at the angles and all that. Are you able to see the PDF? Okay,
Yeah, I can see it.
So I'll send this to you later today after this meeting. But this is kind of just these small little angles. It kind of measured all the little small deviations. You're just going to see little things like here, like again, a shift to the right. We can see it going down the middle. This is saying all this is level, which is great. We have a small little lateral pelvic tilt here, which is going to be one ankle higher than the other. That's usually, again, because of thigh muscles. Nothing really big here. Once again, we have that small little deviation. Yeah. The back didn't show very much, here, but with the one I did, it was kind of just try to highlight and make it cool. But again, you can still see higher left shoulder, lower right, and then going all the way down. Yeah. You can see that angle again. And I think that's just because of foot position and not really the problem. I think that's just because the socks and maybe one foot was farther up when you did it versus perfectly on line. That could create a rotation as well. So, and then again, this is the other side.
I definitely see my shoulder elevated.
Yeah.
Could that be the reason my trap is? Maybe it's not numb. Maybe it's just like a tightness and soreness right from the elevation.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what it is. What you got to think about it is like it's already in a shortened position. So when you lift your arm up, you're shortening all these muscles to pull it up, and you're stretching all these muscles in the front in order to allow that. So that blockage is that basically the muscle's already shortened to its limits. So when you lift your arm up, it can't go anymore. So it tries to push basically against the scapula. Scapula's not moving because everything's blocked. And that's kind of that pinching, that punching you feel in the back. And then vice versa, everything gets stretched down the front. And that's when you begin to feel that pain, most likely from that coracobrachialis deep in the bicep, that pec minor, and all those things are getting stretched out. So again, you start to that one a little later.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
You also mentioned tight calves. And I was noticing that tight ankles, restricted ankles.
Yeah, my ankle mobility is not really good, so that's why you see like my torso is like compensating and bending forward a lot because I'm not able to go knees over toes. I have to just completely be back and hips. So yeah, ankle mobility was definitely something that I got to work on.
Do you have any questions for me so far?
No, I mean I know we're on video on Zoom, so you're not seeing me in person, but do you have an idea of what it could be? Like, do you think it's thoracic outlet or shoulder impingement or?
I'm definitely not able to diagnose or make those kind of recommendations. But what I can do is kind of give you the treatments I would do so you can do yourself in order to fix that. Because for me, it's like you could call it whatever the hell you want. It's going to be some muscles that are tight, some muscles that are weak, some muscles that need to get released, some muscles that need to get strengthened. And we just need to do it in the right combination here. Chances are your right side's probably, have you ever massaged your right?
I massage my right a little bit, but I'm always like massaging my left.
So think of it like an opposite thing here. Your right front is tight, so your back left is going to be tight. So if you're going to massage your back left, don't even just ignore the front pec minors for now. The problems are probably in the traps, the levators, and maybe even the rhomboids that you have to release on your left side and only the left side.
I got myofascial work done by this guy, and he did the upper trap, lower trap, the rear delt, levator scapula. It's a lot better. And I've been doing like strengthening for my rotator cuff, stretching the pec a lot, and it's been getting better. Like my like this range is getting a lot better. Like it's still, you can tell this one's not really externally rotating as much, but I've been just kind of doing the corrective work, and I feel like my range is getting a lot better. But I'm still getting that tightness overhead on like lat pull down rows and stuff like that. But
is it tightness or is it pain?
Like with overhead?
Yeah, with all these movements.
I feel like it's numbness. Like it's a numbing feeling for sure. Like my bicep feels numb. When I go overhead and I start doing lat pull downs, like the back of my shoulder will feel really numb and dull, and it would just kind of give out on me. And then when I was doing your assessment video on thoracic outlet, and I put my arm right here for a certain amount of time, like that, it feels like there's something going on here, and there's some numbness and tingling going on, like right here. It's like really weird, but it's been getting.
I was about to ask you that too for that. Perfect. That again, okay, pec minor. You may do want to keep working it. Also, probably the coracobrachialis, the bicep muscle, the super deep bicep muscle. That one, I do have a video on that as well. I'll send it right after just so you can start working on yourself before I get you that treatment. That's what it kind of sounds like. So when you're lifting your arm kind of a little bit, they're getting tight, already tight, because they're tight, compressing on the nerves that go through there. Let me pull that up for you actually, just so you can kind of see everything anatomy wise. That share screen. Yes. Get the hang of this. Coracobrachialis. And we add the nervous system. We can add all these other systems here. But you can see that this muscle goes right in front of it. So anytime this gets lifted overhead, it will stretch out and get into the tissues, and back into the bone, back into everything else. And that's what compresses it. Same exact thing with that pec minor. Same exact thing. So lifting overhead, it pulls it back and creates that compression. Have you tried physical therapy at all?
Myofascial release.
But for anything, for your shoulder thing? Like, have you seen a doctor?
Like, I've seen an ortho, and I got an MRI on my neck and my shoulder, and everything was negative.
Therapy.
Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit.
So you didn't do any exercises with any physical therapy, any physical therapist, any doctor?
Not a physical therapist, but I've been watching your videos and other people's videos, and I've been doing like self physical therapy. Like I stopped lifting weights, and I've just been doing physical therapy stuff. Gotcha.
Okay. Chances are, if you go to physical therapy, what they're going to want to do is strengthen a lot of these muscles back here. The reason why is because, once again, if this muscle's shortened, you got to think this is already pulled closer together. So the moment it gets lifted, it's already compressed. Like there's no giving. But if it's lengthened out, it has room to give you room. It has room to allow the nerves to still pass through. So the idea of physical therapy and the exercises is to help stretch this muscle out. The approach I go is release the fascia, stretch this, and then strengthen this to help it out. This right here, you can see, is connected directly to the scapula, on the back, right? So if we, let me see, bring this back and bring this back. If we attach the rest of the muscles that are on that scapula as well, if this gets tight, it's going to pull the rest of the muscles here.
What's that muscle that gets tight? Is it the pec minor? What muscle are you referring to?
It could be this one as well. Your height up there.
Yeah, it might be the bicep, the brachial, whatever you call it. Because I'm feeling it. I'm not feeling my chest. Like when I put my arms overhead like this and I put my hand on I'm feeling it like the armpit and end of the bicep. So it might be that.
So all those muscles that attaches here as well. And again, if that gets tight, it's going to mess around here, pull the scapula, which then in turn messes around with all these muscles here. I clicked on these by accident, but it messes with all these because they're also attached to that scapula. So if this gets tight, the rest of these get stretched out and weakened or manipulated in some way. So this may also be the reason why you doing your back exercises, you're not really feeling it because they're kind of stretched out. And the moment you try to pull back, the pec minor, that coracobrachialis, it's tight and it's kind of not letting you get to that full range of motion to the point you can fully contract it and get it stronger. On top of that, it might just also be full of fascia once again. And if it's locked in a elongated position because of the fascia, it's not going to be able to, once again, shorten because it's stuck there. So even massaging the back muscles will help it loosen up. Like I'll still massage the back muscles. That's not the biggest priority.
So massage front and stretch the front muscles.
Yeah, so here, that's the muscle you were talking about. That's most likely. And we can see that it is the deeper one over that.
Yeah.
So we got all this. We got to get rid of all this. We have to hide that. Oh shit. Hold on. Fade that. And then you can barely see it right there. So the way you massage that one, can you see me? So you're going to want to deep as you can in the armpit, uncomfortably yet deep, and then go in towards the bicep. So I'm trying to get in my armpit first, because remember, it attaches to that bony area up here. So I'm going as deep as I can in that armpit, and then I'm pushing towards the bicep once I get in there, and I'm looking for that nice little tender spot. You can try to determine if you have it by just flexing up and down. And if you do that, you'll feel a nice little muscle pop up and down. From there, you're gonna probably want to massage that muscle, the tender one. It's deep, I'm telling you. Like you got to get uncomfortably deep into your armpit as high as you can.
So you're literally going in your armpit and then you're going towards the bicep.
Literally in my armpit, I'm trying to get all the way in there. Like I'm not here. My thumb is going all the way in there, or my finger, whatever's in there right now. I'm going all the way in there as high as I can. I'm pushing all the way up. I'm pushing up as far as I can, and then I'm going to push towards that bicep. And from there, I'm grabbing the other side of my arm and I'm pulling it. So now I'm kind of compressing it. I'm pinching it now. Now that I'm all the way in that position, that painful. It's probably very tender. Once again, that's that coracobrachialis muscle, and that's going to be you're going to want to maybe start massaging as well by yourself.
Okay. Sure. I'm gonna see it like that on the right side. No, it's not. It's not even like that on the right side.
I don't think
on the
so.
left side, it feels tender. The right side, it doesn't. So that means it's definitely a restriction.
Definitely tight. You know, like you gotta remember, muscles are not supposed to feel tender and tight. Like if you're pressing on your chest, like that should never feel tender and tight. Like it should be just okay. I'm just pushing on a muscle. You know, it feels normal. I don't know why people think like tender muscles are normal. It's my opinion.
Yeah, that's really tender. Definitely gotta do that. Because when I do biceps, man, I feel no contraction whatsoever. I just feel it in my front delt. I don't know if it's bicep tendonitis or it's that choreo, whatever the muscle's called, it's just tight, or it's a TOS. But yeah, that's really tender.
Be working out maybe a little more synergistically dominant with the shoulders versus the arms, if that's what's happening as well. So if that is the case, all you need to do is pull the elbow behind the body when you do your curls, the elbow behind the back, and that's going to isolate the biceps from the shoulders. It puts the shoulders on a stretch and in a relaxed position, basically.
I have like this.
So yeah, just keep it behind and you're just pulling straight up.
It helps a little bit, but I'm still not getting the same contraction I did on my right. So that I just feel like it's probably a nerve issue then.
Well, you're not getting the same contraction, maybe because it's stronger. Think of it like that as well.
Maybe.
Lift it the same weight, you might be weaker in your right one, and therefore you might just need a heavier weight.
For my left?
Or or get stronger with the right until it's even with the left, if that makes sense. But again, like if you're not feeling it, maybe just not lifting enough.
But if I had TOS though, I would have numbing right here, right? Like a lack of
the feeling. That's what most likely is going to happen.
Yeah, because I get numbness down my fingers and tingling. So even if I do get, like, let's say I did have TOS and I put my shoulders down and back and I wouldn't feel a contraction though if I had
you
TOS.
Should still, like, you gotta think of it like there's different nerves that go into different areas, and some nerves like go through the front. They will search into the nerves, but there's a lot of other ones that won't. So like even if the nerves are cut off, it's not like the muscle's not going to contract. Like it's still going to be able to fire up. You just may need to lift a little more, or maybe change your form a little bit to isolate it a little more.
Yeah, maybe I really am just kind of overthinking it, and I'm fine. But yeah, it's just
The coracobrachialis is more of a shoulder muscle. You gotta remember that. It's just in the biceps. It doesn't cross the elbow joint, so it doesn't do this at all. That's all in the shoulder. So it sounds like the issues are more the shoulder issue and the back of the left, like kind of all. Well, I guess my left here over here.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you release, I'll get you a plan for that, but you're gonna want to release all that on the left side, and then hopefully by that we'll try to strengthen it, and we'll just see your range of motion from there. And I'll show you some exercises as well, and I'll show you a few different mobility drills that are hopefully will be a quick fix.
Okay, for sure. Yeah. So what do you think are some things to avoid? Like, should I still be lifting? Because I
Honestly,
haven't been lifting the past.
try it out again if you haven't lifted for a while, because you said you've gotten some work done, you've done all that. Pay attention to what you're doing, and if you start to feel pain or weirdness, focus on what's happening in that moment. Like, what position am I in that creates it? And then try to figure out what position can I get out. Like, let's just say I'm lifting overhead and I start to feel pain here. I was like, okay, I'm lifting overhead. I know my shoulder's up. I start to feel pain right here. It's a pinching pain. If I lower my shoulder a little bit, does that go away? Does it help? Does it not? Try to focus there a little more so you get as much detail about the pain, because sometimes it could be a joint little issue. Sometimes the different ranges of motion will tell you where you're at. The pain sensation will tell you what's happening. But it
Yeah.
also
Okay. I'll be a
sounds
little bit
like
more.
there's a lot of tightness. So
Yeah, it's mainly in this area, I think, because even like just standing, man, like just standing around, sometimes I feel like a deep muscle, like right here, like pinching all the time. Like it's not. Sometimes I think my shirt's too tight. Like that's how it feels. Like I have a super tight shirt, and it's like pinching in my armpit. That's what it feels like. But my shirt's fine, and I'm just standing, and I feel that. So I feel like if I do the corrective exercise before I work out, maybe I could analyze to see if I have those symptoms still. This correctiveness, see if it helps.
any
And then what do you
question?
think about the back? What do you think about like the subscap? Because when I get a broom, man, and I shove it in there, I jump a little bit in that teres minor area. Like
Everybody jumped in the subscap. No one has ever had their subscap worked. It's a good thing to work it, but I don't see it as a main issue because it doesn't go around the nerves.
I was reading something that like the teres minor and the teres major pinch like a radial nerve or something.
I can see those more as a trigger point issue, but I'm not a big expert on nerves and where they all go, but I can easily look that stuff up as well. So
All right, got it. Dude, this is really informative. So you're gonna send me a bunch of stuff on what to do.
yeah, so my plan here is I'm going to send you the PDF and a link to a video for that coracobrachialis. It's going to be exactly what I just talked to you, just going to be in another video if you want to watch it again. I'm going to send you this video of our recording because everything's been recorded. So I'll send you this as well so you can always watch this again. So PDF, video, recording, and then I'm going to start getting to work later today on a personalized treatment for you that you can do in about 10 to 20 minutes. The idea of that is going to be I'm going to show you some muscles to release, some muscles to stretch, some muscles to exercise. I also want to give you kind of 1 to 2 different techniques. I have one in mind I know I want to do. I'm going to try to find another one if I could try to find it. That's going to help with some quick relief and kind of reset the shoulder joint, we'll say, quote unquote. So I'm going to send you that in a couple of days, Wednesday latest. So I needed for that.
Okay.
I'm going to be shooting those videos for you. I'm going to shoot a quick video for you. I'm just going to raw edit it, boom, and just send it off for you.
Okay, perfect. And then one last question I have. Do you know what the iron neck is? Like this chin tuck machine that you online, and it lets you do this, but you have a weight band, and it's attached to a door, and it's like attached to your head, and you can chin tuck. What do you think about that? And I think you mentioned chin tucks for forward head posture, right? Okay, cool. Because I bought it. It was like $300. So
okay, let me know how it goes.
Okay, I'll let you know, man. I'll let you know for sure.
Okay.
It's a good investment because I'm feeling stuff back here. So I think if I strengthen it, it could become more like tolerant to.
So remember, that's meant to train the deep cervical flexors. We have this SCM in the front, that muscle that pops out. We have the levator in the back, and then we have the deep cervical flexor in the middle. What usually happens is think of it like one side gets tighter, the other side gets lengthened, and the deep cervical flexors are the tense pole in the middle. So they're going to be the ones that help kind of stabilize. So those are not, it's great that you got that. Just understand that that's not a muscle you're trying to get big and strong, right? It's more for corrective training, very specifically for that neck. And it's not about training these, it's about training the inside deep ones. So
daily.
You don't have to do it daily. It's more about how you feel on it. If you could do it daily, you can go for it. I'll see why not. The idea is you're pulling back while pulling the chin down. It's not just straight back because then we're kind of just contracting here. the moment you pull back and then you kind of drop a little bit, it's going to help hit those deep muscles. I got 5 minutes. I'll show you real quick. Hold on. Let me pull up the anatomy. So these are your deep cervical flexors reference, because we got to now get through all these other muscles to get to the SCM in front and your levator scap. So again, the idea of that is you're more just pulling your head back while creating a chin tuck in order to strengthen that. But it's not about, you're not strengthening these muscles. It's more about that deep one. So I think the best way to do that starting off is going to be isometric. Like think of it like a plank. Like just come back, chin, hold, and just hold it there with that weight. That weight's awesome, you know, just to have some constant tension on it. And think of that as like an isometric contraction, because all day we're like this subconsciously because of our work. And so it's an isometric contraction like this all day. So let's try to count.
When I do it though, like when I chin tuck, I feel like a nerve sensation all the way down my arm. It's like really weird. I don't know why I feel that, but yeah, I feel it in like the back of my shoulder, like some type of nerve entrapment.
That's probably scaling.
I got those released 3 days ago from the guy. He was like getting really deep, and it was painful. I could feel the referred trigger point to my shoulder. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad
getting better
to do that.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty hefty. It's like 185, but it's worth it for sure. Like I feel a lot better. Like when I scheduled the Zoom with you on Thursday, I probably feel about 50% better. So day by day getting better. But yeah, that video would be nice to see in the training techniques. What about the last question? What about the anterior?
So
Is that something?
I'm bringing it up in the videos. I'll just show you how to train it. It's just one of those things that we just don't train ourselves, and I recommend everybody to probably fire it up, you know.
And I could still work out, but I have to do your corrective stuff before.
You don't have to. You could try a normal warm up, because like I said, you've been getting work done, and like you may not need the correctives for a warm up. Think of it like maybe as a morning routine or something. You can as well. Don't get me wrong, you can. Like I said, like try your workout because you've gotten work done. So see if that made any different changes. Try your workout, getting stronger like bicep curls with your left versus right.
I played around, I think yesterday, some rows, and it felt good. It's just my shoulder kept cracking a little bit still. That was a big thing too. My shoulder cracks a lot on my left side. So, but I didn't do a good warm up though before it. So that could be why too.
Well, yeah, those muscles being tight pulls that scapula forward, interferes with that humerus moving. Could be the crack. I mean.
And then, all right, cool. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to those to that email.
Take it easy. Thank you.
Now, if you want to learn how to release all these deep muscles that's most likely creating your TOS, then make sure to click on the video in the top right corner. I'll see you over there.